Perfect. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Jessica. I am the president for CNSA for this year, and I am going to be talking a little bit about running for the board of directors for CNSA. So the board consists of 12 members. So we have a president, we have a vice president, a secretary treasurer, and we have 9 directors. So the general directors, they do all kinds of things. Most of them are chairs for our committees. The president runs the meetings, sends out the agendas. The vice president helps with other miscellaneous tasks, but is also there in case the president can't be there. And our secretary treasurer takes our minutes and handles all of our financials. So it's pretty much set up probably just like the board that you're a part of at school, or if you're in a chapter or any other kind of club, you've probably seen a similar setup. So our responsibilities on the board, we have a wide range and they change every year because what CNSA does is influenced by or shaped by the directors that are elected that year. So the cool thing about CNSA is we don't have a lot of rigid roles. Each year our directors are elected and they can kind of run with what they are interested in. For example, we have our Breakthrough to Nursing director, we have our legislative director, but then we also have members or directors who thought they're really interested in intersectional nursing practice. So they came up with that committee and they're working on that. We also had someone who was interested in the mental health committee, so she's working on that. So each director, they can kind of run their committee the way that they would like to. So some will have webinars, you can have them once a month or more or less. Some send out monthly newsletters called toolboxes that have resources and information in them. You can do you have freedom to kind of do what you are interested in and what works for you as the chair for your committee. So the other thing that the directors do is they come to our monthly board meetings. So we have a board meeting once a month, and that's where we check in with each other and talk about how things are going for CNSA. So if you're part of your chapter at school, this probably looks familiar to you too. So we check in, we talk about our finances, our budgets, we approve the minutes from the previous meeting, and then we talk about kind of what the current events are. So some of the things that we do on the board is we get involved with other nursing organizations. So for example, we work with the American Nurses Association of California. We do webinars with them and we assist each other in different, tasks. And so we talk about what's going on with ANAC and how we're supporting each other. We also go to events. So in April, I went to Utah to the National Student Nurses Association convention, which is really cool in Salt Lake City. Then here in California in July, we had 2 mid-year meetings. So we spent a day in San Jose and a day in San Diego. So those are some of the things we do. We had to plan those events and then we had to go execute them when the time came. And then the most important thing we talk about though at the monthly meetings are how we can support our fellow nursing students. So as president, I do something called the Council of School Leaders once a month. And that is where we kind of check in with the nursing students and the leaders within the chapters and see what they need help with. So sometimes a president or a vice president, or maybe, your Breakthrough to Nursing director, whoever is a leader in your chapter, they come to the Council of School Leaders and they say, hey, I need help with fundraising, or I need help engaging my chapter or engaging my members. And so we can all brainstorm on ways to support that person. Sometimes we also have really unique concerns like, hey, I tried to register for convention, it didn't work, or I'm not sure if I am eligible for this position. And we're able to get that person into contact with who they need to be in contact with to get their question answered. Like I said, most of our directors are chairs for a committee. So we do have quite a few committees and you can adapt that committee to what you would like it to be. Some people make webinars or toolboxes or newsletters they send out. or you can also help shape what we're doing at convention based on what you're passionate about in your committee. So the requirements in order to run for CNSA board of directors is you have to be a CNSA or NSNA member. So by being an NSNA member and living in California, you are a CNSA member. You also have to have at least 6 months remaining in school. For example, I ran for president in October of last year. I graduated in May, so I had enough time to still be president. You also have to have your school or your faculty approve that you are okay to run. And that's just to make sure that they think you can handle the school load and the workload that comes with CNSA. Also, they will be instrumental in you being able to attend these events. So I had to miss a few days of school for the convention in Utah, and I was actually able to get clinical credit for going to convention, even though I missed some clinical days. So it's important that your faculty and your school are on the same page with you when running for CNSA. If you are interested in running for president, vice president, or secretary/treasurer, there is one additional requirement, and that is that you have to have held or are currently holding a board position at your school. So that can be any of the board of directors at your school. Lastly, I will say that it is a 1-year commitment. So even though I graduated in May, I'm still serving as president until October. So that's important to keep in mind too, that once you graduate, you are not done with CNSA if you graduate in the middle of your term. So there are 2 different ways that you can run for the board. So the first is to pre-slate. And so what that means is that you have all of your information and paperwork turned in to CNSA in advance. And CNSA checks it all and makes sure that you are eligible and approved. And then you have time to campaign. So the deadline will be a few weeks before convention. And that gives you time to talk to your fellow nursing students, to students from other schools, and kind of advertise for yourself and advocate why you would be such a great candidate. If you do not get your information in on time, you have the option to run from the floor. And what that means is at convention, when we open up the House of Delegates and we're all having our big membership meeting, then you can have someone nominate you. In order to do that, you still have to have all of your paperwork turned in. And then you have someone nominate you, and you have like a second to give your speech and explain why you would be a good candidate, but you do not have all that time of campaigning before when you pre-slate. So that's what the difference is. And then the last thing I like to always say when you have someone who's interested in running for the board is that this is an attainable thing to accomplish. So when I was thinking about running for the board, I know that I was really intimidated and I didn't really know what to expect. I thought the board was this really like professional, really, like high up there position. And I was really nervous to get involved. But I'm so glad that my instructor encouraged me to go for it, because then once I was on the board, I realized, I'm with other nursing students, and there are other individuals who have nursing exams, who have to go to clinical, who are busy and managing all their time and planning everything out. But if they can do it, I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. So that's basically all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or call me or text me. I'm always available for you to get into contact with me, and I'm happy to help you with any questions you have.